If everybody has to be in on Zoom, but I guess. Yeah, I have everything muted. That's never a good sign.
What?
A little.
Uh-oh. Right, as you move your,
As I move the computer. Yeah, that's what it is.
I gotta be.
Jeff, you're not experiencing any problems. Frank logged himself out and everyone else is muted.
Let's see. Start video and we're done. There you go. All set. 1, 2, 4 here. Let's see, Jeff and Rachel. Good evening. I'd like to call the board meeting to order. We have 4 board members present, and we had 2 board members via Zoom. We could stand to salute the flag.
To the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You'll have to give me dates. Mine didn't come out. For the
This one is the December 3rd roundtable.
Okay.
The second is the December 3rd, oh, I'm sorry, December 15th regular meeting. And the last one is the January 7th roundtable.
Bear with me, I can only get Zoom on my computer, and Mary's giving me the dates for the minutes. So could I have a motion for the special meeting, the roundtable meeting on December 3rd?
I'll make a motion.
Katie made it, Kelly seconded. No discussion, no corrections. Sherry, how do you vote? Kelly, Katie? I'm a yes. Jeff, how do you vote?
Yes,
Rachel?
Abstain.
Okay. Could I have a motion for the minutes of the regular meeting of December 15th?
I'll make it.
Jeff will second it. Sherry made it. Any correction changes? Sherry, how do you vote? Katie? Kelly? I'm a yes. Jeff, how do you vote?
Yes,
Rachel?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Noted. Could I have a motion for this roundtable meeting on January 7th?
yes,
Jeff will second. Katie made it. Sherry, how do you vote? Kelly? Kelly? Katie, excuse me. I'm a yes. Jeff, how do you vote?
yes,
Rachel?
Abstain.
Same. Motion carried. The next item, is there any public comment on action items? None signed up, none on Zoom?
No.
Okay. The next item is the agenda items, treasurer's report, personal actions, claim, approval of claims audit, CSE recommendations, approval of the 2019-20 audit findings correction plan, 2020-21 budget transfer, change orders. Does anyone have questions on any of these action items?
I have a question on the treasurer's report and I heard the budget transfer.
Report. And what was the other one?
I just have a quick question on the treasurer's report.
Okay. Go ahead.
I don't know if Karen
Karen,
is on Zoom.
I am, but I can't hear Katie.
Can't hear you, Katie.
I was just curious on the capital fund, there was the Leonard bus sales in the amount of 170 or almost $172,000. And I was just making sure that what that was for the capital fund.
I'm sorry, I couldn't understand you, Katie. Can you say that again? You said something about Leonard bus sales and 172,000?
Yeah, there was a check made in August to Leonard bus sales out of the capital fund for 172,000, and I was just curious what that specifically was.
Oh, that is for any new buses. When we pay it out of the capital fund, that is the cost of the new buses. We pay those in full. And then when we ban it, we pay the, just a portion, and the portion
Mhm.
that's our payment comes from the general fund. So from the capital fund means that was the payment for new buses.
Perfect, thank you.
And the change order? You want to pull that separate?
That's right. Just not going to be separate.
Okay, budget transfer, yeah, okay. Then could I have a motion for A, B, C, D, E, and G? Katie makes, is there a second? Any questions on those agenda items? Sherry, how do you vote? Katie, how do you vote? Kelly? I'm a yes. Jeff, how do you vote?
yes,
Rachel?
Yes.
Yes, okay. Budget transfers.
I have a quick question. More of a concern. Was there a reduction in employee hours? Because that's going to affect how I vote on that. For employees, specifically the CSEA employees, you know, such as nursing staff, monitors, and such, bus drivers.
There's not an employee.
So on Wednesdays, do they report here?
Some of them do, depending on whether or not the principal needs them, PAs, for example, or monitors, for example, but bus drivers do not report.
Are they compensated still or not compensated?
I don't believe they are. They're only compensated for what they're actually working.
Oh, my question is the same because I had said that as well. More specifically,
Is it possible, could everybody except Frank mute? I'm having a hard time hearing.
Okay, they're asking that everyone mute except Frank.
oh, you need to unmute that so she can hear. She's right closer to you.
No, I think you got everyone muted. Yeah. Here, I'm gonna hand the screen down. If everyone's muted, can you hear? You have the questions, then everyone can hear it.
I had a specific question about non-instructional staff, specifically the nursing staff. Have they experienced a reduction in hours and or pay?
Kelly, this is Karen. No, nursing staff, all hourly staff at the beginning of this year, because Wednesday is not a student in-person day. Every Wednesday is up to the supervisor or the administrator, whether that person needs to come in and work. So every staff who is paid hourly, so bus drivers, bus attendants, yes, your 2 hourly nursing staff, TAs, it all depends on what they do as to whether they are needed on a Wednesday. So specifically, I can't speak to whether the nursing staff is needed or not. They're supervised by Fred.
Okay. So to the best of your knowledge, they have not received an official reduction in hours or salary.
They're not salaried, first off. So that being the big difference. And the fact that if they don't work on Wednesday, they don't get paid. There may be some confusion as to why this question is coming up, because it may seem as though there's been a reduction in pay, but it's a matter of they're not working on Wednesdays. Or when they do work on Wednesdays, they're only getting paid for those hours that they work. Now, that's no different than, say, a Tuesday. They get paid for the hours that they work. It's just a matter of annualized pay. Wednesdays were taken out, and they are only paid pluses for those hours that they work on a Wednesday.
So at the beginning of the year, they were never paid for the Wednesdays. Is that what you're saying?
No, at the beginning of the year, they were coming in and they were working Wednesdays. And that was, the discussion was that we didn't need everyone there when we didn't have students in the building.
Correct.
So
So when
that
was
was-
that? So when was that changed?
That was changed in September, October. I believe the nurses weren't informed and didn't change their schedules until later.
Later meaning when? Because I'm hearing it just happened today.
No, I'm not sure what you're talking about happened today.
Okay. I guess I'm just concerned because what was expressed to me was that there was a reduction in staff hours that equated to a cut in salary for those staff. And I guess I'm confused. They could come in on Wednesday, but now they can't, or they were needed and now they're not. I'm not really.
No, I'm sorry. The exact point is they were never needed. They were coming in because no one had told them that they didn't need to come in.
Okay.
And then they were told, they don't need to come in. But if needed, if there's something going on or there's a training at the elementary or at the high school or something that they are required to attend, or if Michelle tasks those 2 people with coming in for something, they will get paid for that time.
So when their salary was calculated, because it's
They're
calculated.
not
based on-
salaried.
Well, when their pay was calculated, because it was calculated at the beginning of the year,
correct?
Yes,
Based on the number of hours times their hourly rate comes up with their annual amount divided by the number of payrolls. That's was always my understanding.
correct.
Okay. So when that happened,
Mhm.
was Wednesdays calculated into their,
Initially, yes.
okay? And then at some point that changed,
Yes.
but you don't know when.
I can go back and look at my calendar and tell you when, but it did not happen today.
In the recent past though, in the last month?
Before the holidays.
Okay. But could it have just been a lapse from the time it actually happened till they actually got paid? Could that have been? why
Yes.
it seems like?
Yes. Yes, this would have been the first check where it would have reflected the difference in pay.
Okay. And when were they informed that they should no longer work Wednesdays? I guess I'm just trying to understand because it, you know, from my perspective, when I read that we're trying to approve multiple thousands of dollars worth of budget transfers for something like furniture, but staff are saying that their hours have been cut, I guess there's a concern.
Well,
Or-
Kelly, I hear what you're saying. I think that's a conversation that we would have to have more in depth with the superintendent and the entire cabinet, because it is not just those staff who are not working Wednesdays. It is almost all hourly staff.
Okay, all right. So I think that that's probably the case. So I'll sort of defer at this point. You,
Okay.
you answered it to the best of your ability.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, thanks. I'll speak loud. How's that sound?
That's better. Send it.
My next question about that transfer is that $8,000, it seems like a lot for furniture to me. Have we received quotes for that amount, or where did that number come from? I understand it's 3 desks and
3 offices, not just desks,
3 offices, but they,
and then the entire staff room for
it's a table and chairs.
expensive. But he has an answer.
Furniture for the driver's area, which includes a desk area for them to be able to sit at a computer to be able to do what work they need to there. It also includes all the furniture for the training aspect of that room, which is individualized chairs as well as tape for that room. It takes into account all of the furniture that is going to be bought for the maintenance shop portion of the building, workbenches, and the other supplies that Rick Wager has requested. It also pays for a refrigerator for that driver break area. It pays for a microwave, it pays for a coffee maker for that driver break area as well. And then if there's anything else that comes up in the, in the meantime, then that can probably come out of that money as well. But all of those items, all of the office furniture, all of the shop furniture, and everything else has all been quoted through at least 3 different places.
More than just office furniture.
And this is the furniture that's going to last for 40 years.
Better.
And none of the furniture that's in the current maintenance is going to be moved over. The furniture that's in the current maintenance is not going to be moved over to the bus garage.
The bin,
Okay,
garbage bin.
so when we do a tour, we're not
Goes
going
trash
to
when
go
it
up
was
there and
put
see
in.
some of that furniture.
I have no control over that department, but we are doing our best to try to monitor that so that we bring in all new furnishings, so that we keep it, a model facility at what it is that you looked at, when you did your tour.
And that's all the furniture that will be allowed in there.
So I think the question is, will other people bring in their furniture from home? The answer, no.
Because if we approve this, that's it. They can't bring nothing in.
So that $8,000 worth of furniture is all that's gonna be in there. It's not gonna be clustered. It's not gonna be full. They're not gonna have old bus seats to sit. I'm just saying, that's what we saw.
No bus seats.
No bus seats.
Okay.
Is that they take the opportunity that they're going from a 50 or 55-year-old facility into a state-of-the-art facility that they bring, everything in there is going to be new, and that the facility is maintained and kept up and is, treated like a state-of-the-art brand new facility. And it seems, based on what I've seen so far, that that's the way they're set up.
Any other questions on budget transfers?
It's sort of a couple of budget transfer because, again, I agree with Kate, I find it hard to justify budget transfers without addressing that other staffing issue. But I'm willing to vote on budget transfer issues on the basis that we have a further discussion about how those hours are being handled. And I guess the bigger question is why were some staff notified at the beginning of the year and some staff not notified till right before Christmas? Was that an error? Was that a change? I just would like a clearer picture of that.
I'll give you my perspective. It's not right nor wrong. Rather than lay off people in the beginning of the year, it was decided that we could keep them on and have them be tasked with certain duties. So we've done that for as long as we possibly can. And then we realized we no longer need those individuals. Initially, they would be helping the principals and the directors and other people get things ready for the year for hybrid instruction. We no longer need them as frequently as such. So now that is why we don't have them coming in all on Wednesday. Doesn't mean some of them still come in on Wednesday. It all depends on the building principal's needs for that particular day. Getting homework assignments ready, putting together packages, those types of things. And they're needed for that. But for example, monitors aren't going to be needed to monitor the halls, but they may be needed to monitor, to help in doing other duties.
I guess I get that, but I guess from Karen's explanation, I don't understand why all the other staff received that notification, but the nurses didn't until just before Christmas. What changed there to make that happen?
Yeah, that we'd have to look into. Yeah.
Okay, follow-up conversation. Okay, could I have a motion for the budget transfers?
I'll make it.
Jeff makes the motion. Is there a second? I need a second for a motion for the budget transfers.
I'll second it.
Rachel seconded it. Any other discussion? Sherry, how do you vote? Kelly? Katie? I'm a yes. Jeff, how do you vote?
Yes.
And Rachel?
Yes.
Yes. Oh, in my report here. Over the last month, I had the pleasure to talk to some of our staff. There's an enormous amount of time and effort in delivering instruction. I learned there's a big difference between elementary and middle school, high school instruction and the needs. I also heard firsthand the hours that it takes, nights and weekends, contacting parents whenever they're available. We hear this from our administrative reports, but when you talk to the staff, they live it. The building and transportation are doing a great job getting our students here. We're keeping the buildings clean and safe. So there's a enormous amount that's going into maintain our educational structure between the administration, the instructional staff, and the non-instructional staff. And I believe that shows that we're maintaining and keeping our buildings open. And it's also a great effort of the parents to do their job too. So hats off to everyone. I know we're tired of COVID, but it's not tired of us. I'd like to welcome Samantha and congratulations on your tenure appointment. You bring a lot to the district, and thank you. Lastly, Stephen, I think everything's been said. He has really moved the district over his tenure. It has been a real pleasure to work with Stephen and the great accomplishments. You'll always be welcome here, and don't be a stranger. We wish you the best in your next adventure. I know you'll never sit still. As we say goodbye to Stephen, we welcome Joseph. I will try to set 30 to see if you're up.
Official.
Is
Late, 7:30, late.
there anything else that the rest of the board would like to add to Stephen? Katie said you wanted to roast him. It's been a long journey. I think the first few years were very tough. We had to learn how to pass a board resolution for facilities and look at the accomplishments and the changes you've done. So thank you, Stephen. Yeah. Superintendent's report.
A little bit louder than normal. First of all, I'd like to recognize Chuck Caravella, our assistant high school principal. He hasn't met anybody yet. So this is his first board meeting. Thank you for coming. And when school is back in session full time, I'll come back and visit to see how things are going. And again, I'd like to echo Frank's comments about Samantha's tenure. Well-deserved, ahead of schedule, which is kind of unusual for some people, but well-deserved. It's been a great department, a lot of ideas and innovation coming forward, and the extra work you're doing is recognized by you. So thank you very much. And we will celebrate that at some point in the future when we celebrate last year's tenure appointments as well. You'll get a piece of cake, which is good. Okay, so the rest of my report is, I'm going to kind of forego the report and speak directly to the Board of Ed. As I sit here with you tonight, in what is my last superintendent update, my last board meeting, my heart is filled with mixed emotions. I'll just briefly talk about one. As I head into retirement and officially leave my position as the Berlin school leader, I am filled with tremendous pride. I am proud of our students, our administrators, our teachers, and every single member of the support staff. But tonight, I want to tell you how proud I am of you, the Berlin Board of Education. Thank you for the confidence you have placed in me. Thank you for our shared vision, and thank you for your guidance and support. During my tenure here, the Berlin schools have been built on a foundation of excellence. And together, we have continued to build a stronger, broader foundation for the future of Berlin's students. I know that each of you will continue to seek solutions which impact the success of all students. The board has provided a decade of continuous improvement with a commitment to the entire school community. Your support is broad and is experienced by all. The support for our capital projects and facilities upgrades is unwavering. Your belief in a well-rounded education for students is evident in the support of the additional funds you place in the budget for Berlin programs. For example, combined athletic teams with New Lebanon, our new track and sports fields, our extracurricular programs at all 3 levels of instruction, our emphasis on music and art, the innovative curriculum in science and technology, the multitude of college level course offerings that we now have for our students at the high school, extremely small class sizes, which we want to maintain, and most importantly, your collaborative or our collaborative decisions to do what is in the best interest of each Berlin student. I want to thank you for your courage and understanding of the need for change and growth. Please continue to ask questions about the curriculum, the teaching and learning processes, and staff professional development. The end result of your decision are evident every single year. For 9 years, I was fortunate to see the joy of our graduating students as our Berlin Mountaineers walked across the stage to pick up their diplomas. Every student whose name was called on that June day is a success story, thanks to all of our combined efforts and supports. I firmly believe, and I'm confident that you concur, that it takes our entire school community through a pre-K through grade 12 approach to make Berlin Mountaineers and make students successful graduates of our district. As of February 1st, Mr. Joseph Dara will be taking over as your next superintendent. I've truly enjoyed getting to know Mr. Dara over these past few weeks. Not only does he have noteworthy credentials for the position, but his caring and inquisitive attitude, good nature, and his child-centered approach to decisions were evident in our conversations. And those are the characteristics that are fundamental to us as educational leaders. I'd like to present Mr. Dara with one of my favorite items. You probably can figure out what it is, the famous starfish pin and poem. As we move on to become the next superintendent, it's been a tradition to welcome newcomers to the district through for many years, we have had our ceremony and we thought it's nice and fitting to give one to you, so you can have that and wear it in good health, put it somewhere. Okay. So as I depart the meeting for the last time later tonight as the Berlin superintendent, please accept for the education, you will continue educational excellence for our students. It is a reminder that we strive for success one student at a time. With deepest gratitude and warm regards, thank you for fulfilling my dream of becoming a superintendent. It's the last leg of my professional journey as an educator comes to an end. Got it. The Berlin school community will always hold a special place in my heart. Well, you might want to bring this to every board member. Okay, so that's the end of my superintendent's report. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Legislative liaison, Jeff.
Okay, I don't have very much. There's a move to try and get everybody back to as close to normal as you can with students in the classrooms. The little bit I've seen seems to indicate we're doing a lot better job than the other schools in this area, which is good. But other than that, there's a lot of missing information out there, and there's a lot of mistakes. I don't think people are proofreading very well. For example, did everybody get their onboard magazine? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. If you look at it, I think it's a third page in, it says, Regents call for repeal of pandemic adjustment. And then the first paragraph says they call for the restoration of it. So proofreading seems to be a problem. Maybe they don't know any more than we do. Hopefully within a couple of months, things will calm down. That's all I really got.
Thank you. Anything on facilities? The facility tour that we took Thursday night for wrapping up, the buildings look incredible. I'm dying to get into the elementary building to see it with the kids. That is awesome. think when the parents finally come back into the buildings, they're going to be really taken. A lot of good changes. Oh, Berlin Elementary.
I'd like to start by just saying congratulations to Carol. Currently at PTS, we are in the midst of our winter benchmarking. We do this 3 times a year in both ELA and math. We determine growth for our students over the course of the year, as well as one of the factors that we take into consideration as we determine intervention needs for our students, which of our students require and need additional RTI supports in both reading and math. We've been able to do that with all of our students, including our remote students. So despite the fact that they're remote, they still go through this benchmark testing. They're still receiving those RTI supports as if they were in person learning. We have just recently sent out our next round of survey to those families who are currently remote to gauge their interest in wanting to perhaps return to school for in-person learning, or if they choose to remain remote, it's their choice. I can say so far at the elementary school, I have had a handful of families who are looking to have their students return. We're always happy to welcome them back. So working to accommodate those students and transition them back into the building. Tomorrow night, our librarian is putting on a great virtual family event. It's called Breakout of a Book Night. She has a special interest in breakout boxes, which are these puzzles that use problem-solving type skills. They're pretty challenging. I've done some of them with the kids. So she's put together a whole themed evening for families that will be virtual to have a little fun competition with these breakout boxes themed around some winter books. We've had a great response to that. A couple of our teachers came up with this idea of the Light Up the New Year event that's happening this Saturday, the 23rd from 5 to 7. There's a pretty lengthy list of local businesses that are participating. So it's a nice way to showcase some of the businesses in our community, give families a safe, COVID-friendly means of having something to do within our community. And then lastly, I've been working with Michelle Corsi on finalizing and setting up the testing plan for Berlin Elementary if we come to that point where we need to test. We spent some time together last Wednesday mapping it all out, and I feel that we're ready if we come to that point where we have to test in schools. That's what I have.
Thank you.
Middle school, high school.
Hey everyone, so I'm joining you remotely today. I just wanted to, first of all, welcome Chuck to the first Berlin Central School District Board of Ed meeting and give you a bit of an update. I think the transition could really not have gone smoother. We have just really super rock star assistant principal, athletic director joining us here. And I'm sure if you haven't met him or seen the fruits of his labor yet, you will soon get to know and appreciate Chuck and the value that he brings to the district. So thank you there. For those of you who have been waiting for the elementary school and the middle high school to sort of get on the same page, I have almost the same report as Tracy Kent this evening. We didn't talk about it ahead of time, but we've been doing very similar work with both buildings as far as trying to really get the district ready. Our SRI and SMI testing starts next week. We are running on an abbreviated schedule so that students get an uninterrupted test block of time next week in the morning. We have also been working with Michelle Corsi to make sure that our staff are trained and prepared for the COVID testing if need be. Also, I do want to thank our guidance counselors who have really done a great job making sure that it is as public as possible when they're available for any student needs. They've been working also with the PTO. We had a meeting today with the middle high school PTO looking to get as much information out as possible regarding the supports that we have in place for our students. And again, we also are participating in the Light Up the New Year event on Saturday from 5 to 7 p.m. And as part of our transition, I'm going to have the students speak up in just a moment. It's also that time of year at the middle high school where we're looking to schedule for next year. We're really deep in the process of getting our courses situated. Fred Hutchinson has been in meetings with the guidance counselors and the different department chairs and I, just trying to get those courses ready for selection for next year for students so that they have that rich program to choose from. And as part of our transition, my transition in leadership, and also I know Joseph's, we have made a decision with the help of Nate and Ariel and some of our students to have students also report out at the middle high school level about things that have been going on. So they really threw us a fantastic Spirit Week right before Christmas break. And I think that they would like to talk a little bit about that.
Hi, I'm here, secretary for the and despite having some snow days and weekends and the holiday break throughout the mix of student participation, especially with the Green and Gold Day and as a part of the Spirit Week activities, we had a grade level competition to see who could collect the most food, and all of it was donated to local food banks in our district. And the middle school student council sponsored the Northeastern Make-A-Wish Foundation, and they raised over $300, and all of the proceeds went to the local Make-A-Wish Foundation. And the Make-A-Wish stars were hung and displayed on the Spirit Week tree. That's all I have.
Thank you very much. That's all for us.
Thank you very much. I'll get to exceptional education.
So first, I just like to say, Dr. Young, I don't know if you were headed to the end of your career 3 years ago, but you stand up for your administrator. So thank you for that. I will always be grateful for that. And it's maybe appropriate that we're, reaching milestones in our career this evening. So thank you again for your recommendation this evening, and thank you for your letter. It was very meaningful to me, so thank you. And I do want to thank, just the board for all of your support over the years, and of course my fellow administrators and the brilliant community. You just really helped me, find my stride and my passion in leadership. Really flown by, so thank you. Really. So moving forward, it's been very busy. We are continuing to work through the components of our special education identification plan. We have some training scheduled under that umbrella. Again, there's really two branches of it. There's the instructional piece, and then there's the procedural piece, which is the review of our IEPs and our CSE meetings. So that report is nearly finished. We were good in 21 out of 23 components of that process. There were just two minor things in the actual writing of our IEPs that were identified as needing some support. And that training has already been scheduled within our department to receive some training for those things. Something I myself implemented as part of this progress is something I actually brought over when I was a teacher in a school district was some progress check-ins and student check-ins with my department. So luckily with the remote Wednesdays this year, I'm able to get all of my teachers virtually together. And we've literally been going student by student, looking at their academic progress, my secondary students, I should say, looking at their courses that they're successful in, what they're struggling in, determining if we need to make any more changes. I've met with one of the specialists from the regional partnerships about our secondary goals in elementary school. We decided to focus on K through 2 phonics instruction. So we're anticipating more information in that arena. And then I've been doing some further data analysis of our graduation rate data and our course failure data that we had to submit to the partnership. We had to submit that data starting with the 2014 cohort, so during 9th grade in 2014, all the way up to our current students. So it's a lot of data, and I started doing some more, analysis for myself, through the lens of looking at certain disability classifications, if there were patterns anywhere. So it's been very telling, and certainly, areas where we need to improve, which is really what this plan is for. It's helping us identify areas where we, just need to work on in terms of instruction for disabilities. I just want to share with the board, we have been able, through our grant funding, to provide hotspots for 4 families in our district who have struggled with internet access. So that's something we've been able to do. I'm very grateful to Nate Ellis, our instructional technology teacher up at the secondary, who's really helped our families get those up and going. We're continuing with restorative practices, working with our faculty. We've been doing a lot of embedded training through faculty meetings. So again, I'm grateful to Jody and Tracy for giving me that time at their faculty meetings. I was able, and Joseph actually showed up for an hour or two. I was able to corner everybody, all the other administrators in Blue Room for 2.5 hours last week to do a really intensive restorative practices workshop with them. So I hope they enjoyed it as much as I did. I thought it was very meaningful. I thought we all really got out of it. And it's just important that we really are united and are really on the same page with, as we get restorative practices up and moving. And then part of the middle school scheduling conversations, I'm tweaking just a minor things at the middle school in terms of what the delivery of special education services look like at the middle school level. And again, coming from that perspective, the middle school is really where we're struggling, as school district and for students with disabilities. So, just maybe trying some different things in terms of special education supports there next year. And it's our time of year in special education. So we're starting to think about annual reviews, starting to think about next year, starting to think about our anticipated needs for next year. So very, very exciting times.
Thank you. Curriculum instruction.
Okay, so first, congratulations, Stephen. Made it.
It only took 39 years and 2 months. Thank you. Yeah, I hope so. Thank you.
Awesome. Congratulations, Sam. You made it as well. And congratulations, Chuck. You all made it. It's terrific. 3 different stages, but I'm going to say this. All right, so Jill Overreich and I attended a national meeting with math publishers, hosted by Quest for Freedom, to discuss some of the gaps seen in mathematics as a result. So it was really eye-opening, really interesting. We got a lot of takeaways. I hope that conversation continues. It might go forward in the future. The mid-year meeting was State Education Department regarding the identified school, middle school. It was good. They identified some strengths, some areas where we do some growth. They've identified some areas where we need to continue to grow. It's a tough year to do this, even more than just in regular education, because there's no guarantee of the assessment process. They can't tell us at this point how they're going to measure our success. But we keep moving towards success anyway, without a target. And that's good. It keeps us child-centered instead of state assessment. We finalized the plan for the antigen zone testing. Jody and Tracy both mentioned this. Michelle, of course, has done a great job with this. Both building principals really seem to have a vision for how this should be done. In terms of data collection, we're in a good place as far as collecting and reporting that. Melvin and Loretta to discuss expensing the rollover money from 2019. What are some good ideas to use that money
4. We'll see how it plays out, but there's a lot of moving parts and ideas that we put forward that are ambitious. There's a lot of money left on the table from last year, and we want to see that done. We want to take that opportunity. I had a very nice meeting with Joe. I understand he got around to meet with all the administrators already. That is, really very optimistic about the leadership. I agree with Sam. I thought it was great having it in there. I think the RP meeting. It was nice to have those conversations. Sam did a great job on that meeting. I've had some experience with RP, but she comes at everything with a very critical approach that really clarifies. Like I said, there's me, but she put the bones in. And so the structures are in place because of the work she does. I'm thrilled that she got the 10. We also, Sam and I, need to review the data and causality related to special education identification. And Jody, Sam, Loretta, Ariel, a bunch of us, all the department chairs, all the team leaders, and the union representation. We had 3 hours last week to discuss some of the data findings that we're seeing from the student grades. And what we've decided to do in terms of a practice for this year, those students will receive below a 55 for any quarter grade, for any part of it. It seems to be the most equitable approach. It is not a healthy practice to show kids at 3, 11, 12, especially during a time of such ancillary stress. So giving those kids that opportunity to, even if they did very, very little or nothing, they can work out from a 55 and they can continue to grow towards a passing grade. But if they come in at a 3 or an 11, we're going to lose them right now. We decided that number did not need to be so challenging during a time that was challenging. So we did set the floor at 55. We have always done that in the first quarter. We just extended that practice through the rest of the year. It's not a policy change, it's just a COVID-19 practice. It'll help us retain the attention and the effort. I attended day tag PM school. It is really growing very well because of the work of Ariel and Dawn Demick. And I met with regional assistant superintendents network on Friday, 32 different districts. I have to be honest with you, we are either at par or a little bit ahead of where all the other districts are. Everybody's struggling with this. We're all seeing trends. They're all very similar trends, but our solutions to these trends are pretty progressive still. We knew we were on the cutting edge of this in March, April, and May. We are still there in terms of comparison across the district.
Don't wait to contact your doctor because these symptoms can be signs of a serious condition like atrial fibrillation.
Thank you. Building and grounds.
Symptoms can mean something serious, so this is no time to wait. Talk to a doctor by phone, online, or in person. High protein from plants like wonderful pistachios.
Be able to move into that building shortly. Our documentation for the phase 2 project has been submitted to state ed. We spoke with the architect, and hopefully that will be reviewed and be coming out of state ed in the next couple of weeks or so. And hopefully we can get that out to bid. So that's kind of an update on where we are with the capital projects. We continued with the items that I spoke about over our building tour with regard to fire inspections and upgrades to emergency lightings throughout the 2 buildings. And so I really just want to congratulate Samantha on her 10 year. I haven't really had to meet Chuck necessarily, but I have seen him in passing, so I want to congratulate you and welcome aboard. And I really want to end somehow with an appropriate thank you to Stephen. So there's your your focus on education and the betterment of the Berlin Central School District has never been questioned in my mind. Always strive to better the facility here, the educational component of the facility. I'm sad that in some ways facilities took so long to get over that, to allow you to, be able to move your vision of our educational program forward here. I didn't mind being in your taxi when you first arrived in town, from the grocery store to here, but Yorktown Heights is a little bit far from Steventown to come down. So I'd suggest, find a phone number for the local Uber, maybe, have Mary's phone number available in your pocket. But if you do call me, it'll take me a while to get there, but I will come give you my own.
Is that when my car broke down?
Yeah, it was.
It's like this second week of school or first week of school. I don't know where I was.
It was a great way to get there, but thank you.
I think you were the only person on my cell phone.
It was a lot of fun. Had a great time along the way. Thank you for all that you've done for the administrators. As far as that goes, I wish you nothing but the best environment. I hope you catch a lot of fish. I hope you enjoy a lot of vacations. And I just wish you nothing but the best.
Thank you very much.
If that's the superintendent, then you better make sure Joe has your number too.
Thank you, Cheryl. Business office, Karen?
Hi, so IT is working with Cyril and the consolidated communications people to get the remainder of the needed IT into both the bus maintenance facility and the operations and maintenance facilities to get those final preparations for that move. Transportation is in the process of determining what stays, what goes, and what gets trashed. They are eager to get moved over. Food service staff, as you know, we had a couple of changes over the past few weeks. The results of those changes and any processes that or procedures that need to be changed will be discussed next week. And as you know, the governor came out today and presented 2 potential budget scenarios. I don't know whether school aid runs will be generated utilizing both of those, or perhaps only just the conservative, worst case scenario. So we're waiting to see what comes from that. And we are in the process of attempting to submit more F-25s, which is a call for money on any grants, because at this point, we want all the money that we're due as soon as possible, rather than waiting until, we close those grants out, because we don't know, what our next budget year looks like. And that's all I have for now.
Thank you. Joe, would you like to say anything tonight?
Congratulations, Stephen, and enjoy your retirement. And thank you for all the information you shared with me over the past couple of weeks. I mean, you are a wealth of knowledge, and I've enjoyed meeting with you. And I look forward to meeting you sometime in the future when you come to visit us. But congratulations. Also, congratulations to Sam on your tenure. Well deserved, well earned. I still remember the first time I got tenure when I was a teacher, and it was such an exciting opportunity. So congratulations to you as well. Welcome, Chuck. We spoke a little bit the other day, and it was great getting to know you and getting your feet under you as you take over as the AD. I'm really excited. Everyone I've met so far, the entire administrative team, many of the teachers have been extremely welcoming to me, and I have enjoyed conversations with them. So I'm excited about getting started, and I look forward to it. So thank you very much, Paul, and thank you for having me here.
Thank you. When I look and reflect of all the success that Stephen brought to the district, we forgot the most important person. And Stephen's wife, Mary, is here tonight, and she's been here supporting Stephen on weekends. I've seen her here at plays, sporting events. And thank you, Mary. I know it was a challenging thing for North and South.
9.5 years up and down has been, and as much as I'm grateful our cars will not have that mileage out it has been a joy. Every town is so unique, yet so welcoming and so such a sense of community. And these schools, it's a pleasure to walk around with children and the artwork and just, I can't express it. For such a small district, because down in Westchester, they're much more populated. For such a small district, you give so much to every family and every child. So it's been an honor for us. And I've been sent it back. 9.5 years, I don't know if I can live in the 7 years.
You know, this is on public.
Thank you. No, we don't have nothing on old business. New business. I need a motion for the nomination of the Questar board candidacy. Motion been made and second.
Second it.
Yeah, please vote. Okay, yes, Kelly. Beth, how do you vote? And Rachel?
Yes.
I'll be finishing 6 years on the Questar board. That's how long. Yep. Is there any other public comment? In public or Zoom? The next roundtable meeting will be February 4th at Middle School High School. The regular meeting will be February 23rd at Middle School High School at 7:15. I'd like to thank everyone. I hope that this virtual and a lot better than last month. Last month we definitely had some IT issues. This month we kind of smoothed them out. And I'd like to thank Mary because she's got 4 docs for me while I'm running Zoom because the machine doesn't like both. So, any other business in front of the board tonight? Not gonna have a motion to adjourn.
I'll make it.
Thank you, everyone, and please stay safe.